Hi, Mark. Realtor for 30 years in Vancouver. 2025 was a bit of a shifting market. What is your forecast for 2026? Does it change by property type? Give us the all information.
Let's just talk about property type. We've got condos, we've got townhomes, and we've got half duplexes, which is a new thing now. It's always been around, but it's very popular. And we've got houses, and then we've got land. With condos, we've seen a sharp decrease in condos. And the reason why is because there's an oversupply of them right now. We're not seeing a lot of first-time buyers get into the market. We don't have any investors because there's been a lot of changes. Tenants have a lot more rights. Landlords don't have any rights. And so people are like, why would we buy a condo when I just keep the money in the stock market?
Is the main reason why real estate investor not buying rental properties because of the tenant rights versus the landlord rights?
Well, that's one of the reasons. I mean, it's tough to be a landlord right now.
Yeah.
We also, investors are seeing a lot more big projects coming into the market, and it's going to be hard to compete. We're also with condos, we don't have any foreign buyers coming in.
Yeah.
And so there's no demand for these pre-sales, which there was a huge demand for before. So condos are going to be tough. Now, there are some areas that are going to be more affected than others. Downtown is severely affected. Part of that reason is because downtown has lost its community with a lot of homeless people and a lot of these shelters. But then you've got across the bridge, you've got Mount Pleasant, Kitsilano, where the condos prices are down, but they're not down as much as downtown because you still have that community feeling. Now we've got townhomes, areas like Commercial Drive, Maine. We're seeing a demand in townhomes. People want their own space.
And why those areas?
You got the community, right? You've got restaurants, you got shopping, schools. So you're seeing demand in townhomes. People want their own front door. You got the Cambie area, which is very popular. We've got a great project in the Cambie area, the modern townhomes with rooftop decks. Then we get half duplexes. So East Side has been really hot for us this year. Half duplexes. So traditionally, buyers that are selling their two-bedroom condos or their townhomes move up and buy a house. Now these buyers, they don't want to buy a house.
Okay.
They want to buy a half duplex.
Because of affordability or?
Well, I like to call it attainability.
Okay.
But traditionally, like say when I was younger, I would go and buy a house. I would have a suite in it.
Yes.
And that would help me pay my mortgage. But I would sacrifice things like I would have small bedrooms, small closets. I would have an old house. Now, a lot of buyers now, they don't want an old house, but they may want a basement suite. So a half duplex gives them lots of closet space, nice bedrooms, open floor plans, air conditioning, all the modern conveniences, and a garage and a little yard. So half duplexes have been very popular. In fact, we're getting some of the pricing that we're getting on our new product is the same as last year.
Oh, wow. Would you say there's areas where these half duplex are more popular, or as long as it's like a brand new product, this is what people want?
So definitely anywhere where there's a community feeling, and this isn't just the East Side, this goes for, the North Shore, this goes for the Fraser Valley, Burnaby, Coquitlam, Richmond, is if you've got something in a central location, close to transit, bike routes, restaurants, it's going to be hot. People want to be there. And if it's new, move-in ready, people are willing to pay for it because it costs money to have something like that. People recognize that. Then it comes down to houses. Houses have been, on the East Side, stronger, but they've been 10% off. West Side, I've seen up to 20% off on some houses.
Wow.
And so going into 2026, we should see slight improvements, especially with houses on the West Side. You're going to start seeing people on the East Side say, hang on a sec, we can get a house on a 50 or 60 foot lot for not that much more than our done up house on the East Side. And there's great schools. So we're going to start seeing a migration from the East Side to the West Side. Now we've got land prices. Land prices are way down, especially with properties that are assembly potential. Assemblies aren't happening anymore.
And why is that?
It doesn't make sense. Too much money to build, too much hassle, too much supply. So land prices, like assemblies, we're not gonna see any. We might see some slight improvement, but the reality is prices are down. It's going to take a long time for them to go back up.
What are the buyers you're working with right now?
We're working with buyers with secure jobs. We're working with less buyers. So there's less buyers out there, and for 2026, that will continue. We're not seeing a lot of move-up buyers right now because a lot of the people who bought into condos, especially condos, in the last 5 years, their equity is, if they still have equity in the, now this sounds bad, but we have clients that are 20% down 2 years ago and they've lost their equity. So they're not going to be buying.
They're going to wait till the equity builds up again to move up.
Yeah. And we're seeing that all across the board. We're not seeing any investing buyers, not a lot of move-up buyers. We're seeing more mature buyers. So a lot of the people that are looking at the half duplexes or the houses that are fixed up are people that have owned real estate for a long time and are buying for the third or fourth time. We're seeing some downsizers, and especially from the west side, we're actually seeing people downsizing from the west side and moving to the east side.
What are they buying? They would have a home, like a full house in the west side. Do they move into a duplex? Do they move into condos? What are they looking for?
I sold a house and they went and bought a large 2-bedroom condo. We've got people on the west side that are selling their houses that just want to be looking for townhomes.
They don't want to have to do the whole maintenance of a home.
No, and they want to be able to walk to go for something to eat, to meet a friend for coffee. Those are the type of buyers we're seeing.
Those are also the type of sellers you're working with, or is there other type of sellers?
Talking about sellers, we've got sellers that are, say, definitely over 40 that have owned their property for a long time. We're not seeing an exodus of people moving out of Vancouver like we did over the last 3 years or 4 years now. We're seeing the type of sellers we're seeing, downsizers. We're also seeing estate sales.
So generation changes.
Yes.
Passing of wealth.
Passing of wealth. And that's going to fuel the market too for 2026. We can't ignore that because there's a lot of baby boomers out there that own houses. Some of them are downsizing. Some of them are passing on. And we're going to see some inheritance coming in. And what are those people going to be looking for?
Yeah, and most of these people don't have a mortgage anymore in their home. So they have lots of equity that they can pass on to their family.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, they may have a mortgage, but it's going to be small. Also, we're going to see rates go down. And so as rates go down, the market's going to be more attainable for people. Also, news like that gets people excited. Mm-hmm. When people are excited, they start buying. When people are not excited, all they do is talk about how bad the market is. And the market just gets worse and worse and worse. So that's what's going on with sellers. Other than that, we've got areas.
Mm-hmm. Is there a difference between areas in the Lower Mainland in terms of activities?
So hot areas. Well, like I said, anywhere that has a community people want to be in. They want to be where their friends are. They want to be where everybody wants to be. Hot areas for Vancouver is Mount Pleasant West, Mount Pleasant East. We've got Main area. We got Fraser area. We got Commercial Drive. Those are pretty hot areas. We also have Kitsilano. Mm-hmm. We've got False Creek, Olympic Village area, fairly hot areas. We also have on the North Shore, some places on the North Shore, North Vancouver seems to be hotter than West Vancouver. It's more of a locals market in North Vancouver. West Vancouver was really being fueled by people moving in from China, and that's totally disappeared. Now, same with the West Side. I mean, I've seen houses on the west side that were assessed at $4 million, selling for in the low threes. Wow. And that market totally dried up.
Because there's no real sense of community in these areas right now.
That's right. And we're also seeing a lot of multiplexes. And all of a sudden we're seeing these large properties being turned into multifamily properties. And so people are a little bit cautious about that.
They don't want to buy a house, then be in a neighborhood full of other type of properties.
Well, they want to buy a house and they don't want to have a 6-story building beside them. Have you seen what that does to your sun exposure and your privacy?
No more garden.
No more garden. Yeah, you get sun for 2 hours a day.
Yes.
We've talked about the North Shore. I mean, I guess in West Vancouver, you've got Ambleside, which is always going to be popular because it's walking distance to everything. But these big properties are not so focused on big trophy properties right now. They're more focused on something that's going to service their needs. Livability, walkability is going to be the theme for 2026. So anything near services or communities, parks, walkability is going to be hot.
Okay. So to conclude, I have two questions. Who's the perfect buyer? Who's the person that right now you're like, you should be buying? Who's the perfect person that fit a profile that they would make a win buying right now?
Well, I'm negotiating properties every day. And so I'm seeing really good buying opportunities right now. And so I would say investors, because I've seen this before. I've seen in the late 90s, everybody talked how bad the real estate market was and no one was buying. And there was great deals. And anybody that bought in the late 90s, 5 years later, looked like rock stars. So just, do the opposite that everybody's doing. People were saying, why would I buy real estate and be a landlord when I can make 20% on my money in the stock market? Stock market's been great. Whenever something is really, really great, they think it's going to get better, right? And that's why people go into multiple offers and bidding wars, because they don't want to miss out. And then when all of a sudden the market gets bad, and it's bad for a while, it's just not in fashion to buy real estate anymore. But guess what? That's the time to buy. So that's the perfect buyer.
And my second question is, who's the perfect seller?
For me, the perfect seller is someone who wants to get on with their life. We have this feeling that we're going to live forever. But, I've seen it where people, they've been thinking of making a move for 10 years. And they start thinking of making that move, in their 60s. And all of a sudden they're in their 70s. And you got to think about what you really want in life. Because it's not worth putting your life on hold just to get the highest dollar for your home, right? So, sellers out there, if it's time to move up, do the move up now.
Okay.
If you can, right? Buy that, that dream home now, because now's the time to buy a dream home. Don't wait till everybody else wants to buy their dream home.
Yeah.
Right? Get on with your life. If you're thinking of downsizing and you want to use your money to go on vacations and travel or help your family, well, now's the time, because in 10 years, you might not have that opportunity. In reality, in 5 years, some people might not have that opportunity. Life goes by pretty quickly. Yeah.
Well, thank you for sharing your forecast for 2026. Any last words?
Well, 2026 is going to be better than 2025.
Hopefully.
For sure it will be. Because first of all, I'm seeing less product now than I did earlier this year.
Okay.
And so things are going to be bought up. I'm already seeing, if you came to me and said, I want to buy a great house on the west side or on the east side, there's not a lot of great product on the market. So when something does come on the market and it's priced well, it gets snapped up pretty quick.
Okay.
As interest rates go down, we're going to see more buyers get excited and get into the market because of attainability, right? So yes, 2026, I believe we're going to see some modest increases. And as we go through the year, it's just going to start building up and building up. By the summer of 2026, we're going to see interest rates, the bank rate below 2%. Now, you as a mortgage broker, would you agree with that?
Yes. Yes, because of the economy.
Because of the economy, right? So, and do you think you're going to get calls from buyers because
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah. As soon as we see movement in the rates, we get busy again.
We've started seeing rates go down over the last year. And, there's people in variable rates. And those people in variable rates, their mortgages are starting to get paid down now, right?
Yeah, more principal. Yeah.
More principal. So we're going to see people building up principal in 2026. Yep. There's going to be more equity in properties in 2026. And so with all that, we're going to see a stronger market, especially towards the end of 2026. And then by 2027, I tell you, it's going to be crazy. People are going to be buying real estate left, right, and center.
Multiple offers again.
Multiple offers. You know, we've seen it before.
Yeah.
History repeats itself. So anyways, get ready for 2026. I'm excited. And thanks for joining us.